The story begins with us being introduced to the main character named Akito, and he recounts that he has worked for 33 consecutive days until today. He still can't believe he got out of there, and how tired he is of it all. After that, Akito explains that he took sick leave due to a cold with a high fever and a runny nose, and says that his boss scolded him almost every day, and he had to deal with all the work of absent colleagues. All he could think about was that tomorrow was his day off. He thinks about taking a break from the city bustle and going to nature, and he decides to go hiking. But these are all just his thoughts, and he is still on the subway. He relaxed because his body was exhausted, and he fell asleep. And it turned out that he rode to the final stop and doesn't understand where he is or what this station is. There was no one around, which greatly frightened him. He found himself at Zaraki Station but had never heard of such a place, and he thought he had taken the wrong line. Also, there were no employees at this station. Isn't it an unmanned station? Akito says this only happens in big cities. He checks his location on his phone and laughs, realizing there's no network. The guy says there's no schedule and asks if he'll be able to get out of here. Akito says he got completely lost after 2 hours. The guy sees a tunnel ahead and doesn't understand if this is normal, and he sees light at the end. He thinks there's an exit ahead and goes to check it out. Walking through the tunnel, Akito hears the sound of waves at the end, and then sees daylight. He can't believe his eyes. He says it was just night, and now before him is the sea and an island. Then he notices that his clothes have also changed, and asks what is happening. Akito says the tunnel he passed through has disappeared. He tries to wake himself up, thinking he's dreaming, but realizes it's not a dream. He notices a figure behind him and turns around. Light-colored braids fall into his sight. Akito saw Olivia for the first time. She asks if he is all right. Akito, in turn, is surprised by Olivia's beauty. He apologizes to her, thinking she was a cosplayer. Olivia says there's nothing that can be done about what happened, and Akito doesn't understand what she means. She says that the ship was wrecked and she somehow managed to get here, and she thinks Akito was also on the ship with her and is glad that there are other survivors besides her. Hearing about the shipwreck, Akito doesn't understand how this could be, and Olivia asks if he's from this island, and he replies that he came here through a tunnel, to which the girl asks if he hit his head, and she immediately apologizes and introduces herself, to which the guy also gives his name, and she was surprised because she hadn't heard of it before, and Akito says he's from Japan. She replies that she doesn't know where that is. He tells her not to worry about it, and Akito realizes she's kind, and asks her if Olivia knows where they are. Olivia states that she doesn't know where this island is located, and that she was en route from the capital kingdom to the Langman kingdom to marry Prince Nazar. Akito realizes her words are not a joke and finally understands that he has arrived in another world. He shouts in surprise that there was no scene where he gets cheat abilities from a god, which is a common trope for Isekai protagonists, and Olivia asks him to calm down, saying that if he ended up on the island like this, it's good that he survived, and she calls him to look for other survivors, and Akito agrees. Olivia asks what Akito's profession and skills are. He is surprised and asks if he even has any, and he again realizes this is another world. Olivia realizes that in Akito's country, knowledge of professions and skills is not widespread, and she names her profession as a holy knight, primarily of the physical type. Akito looks at her and doesn't understand what other physical strength skills such a fragile girl could possess. Olivia explains that checking one's status is easy and shows him how to do it, offering Akito to try it too. At the moment of opening his status, he wondered if he had just arrived in this world and if he had already acquired a profession. His profession is tourist, and he doesn't understand what that means. He also has 5 points and an individual skill called Child of the Hike. He is very disappointed with his tourist profession. He again notices his skill points and realizes they are needed to acquire skills. He sees the skill tree and understands that they need to be leveled up in order, and the numbers are the amount of points needed to learn them. He opens the internal shop tab and sees many items for hiking and tourists, and to get them, points are needed, but even with the skill tree at level 5 with his current points, he cannot purchase anything at the moment. Olivia asks Akito if he has figured out his profession, and the guy says he's afraid she'll think he's joking. He says it seems he's a tourist. Olivia says she's never heard of a tourist profession and asks what it entails. Aikido explains that hiking involves enjoying nature, camping, and cooking. He adds that at night you can look at the stars, and there are different ways to enjoy it. The girl is so surprised by his profession, calling these activities rustic. Aikido asks if it can even be called a profession, and that compared to a holy night it's somewhat simple, but she asks him not to be modest. Olivia says she has heard of sages who were stronger than any noble, and states that Sir Aikido will surely become an outstanding individual too. Aikido says her smile is stunning, and he might try to flirt with her. The guy says he needs to remember that her fiancé is a prince. The girl asks about skills. Aikido reports that he hasn't allocated his skill points yet and will do so soon. Olivia says that distributing points affects life and warns them to be careful, explaining that points can only be gained by leveling up. But in Aikido's situation, he gets 4 points every day, suggesting it's a cheat, so they go off to look for other survivors. The forest on the island was unusually quiet. No animals were visible to cook and eat. Aikido says they've been walking for quite a while, but they haven't found anyone, and maybe they should go back, and Olivia says she'd like to find someone today. But at this rate, they'll dry up from the sun, and Olivia says her throat is dry. He says he can't let Olivia die of thirst and that he will find water somehow. Olivia asks Aikido if he can use water magic, to which he replies he cannot, and he searches his menu for a 20-liter water canister and finds it. He explains that you just need to turn it here, and the water will flow. Olivia says it's an interesting ability. Then Olivia says she will gratefully accept it. She asks if Aikido has a glass or a cup. He realizes that spending points on a cup right now would be the most idiotic thing, and he asks Olivia to drink the water straight, and Olivia says Aikido is right because in a difficult situation one has to make difficult choices, and this will be her test. She began to drink the water with frantic eagerness and choked. Olivia asks Aikido to forget what he saw and explains that she acted impolitely by doing something like that. He says he sometimes forgets the rules too, and reassures her not to worry. Aikido also says it would be nice if they had a saucepan over an open fire. She says she didn't know Aikido had crafting skills. Aikido explains it's not quite like that. He got the water through point exchange, and says that he's still far from mastering spatial storage skill. Olivia is shocked that Aikido can master the spatial storage skill, and that it is only found in 30,000 people, and hearing this information, Aikido is simply in shock. And he further explains to her that the exchange of hiking items is not just for water. He reports that food and various items can be exchanged, but since points are consumed, he cannot do it. Olivia says she has never heard of such an ability before and calls it amazing. Aikido says he hasn't been praised like that in a long time. He says he suddenly found himself in another world and felt helpless, and on top of that, stuck with a noblewoman, he was very worried about his future. But suddenly he found motivation, and he tells Olivia that together they will overcome all difficulties, and she agrees with him. Olivia asks Aikido if he will be her friend, to which he agrees. Aikido reports that the sun will soon set. He says they will spend the night somewhere here today, and he immediately worried that a well-bred young lady would surely be uncomfortable sleeping outdoors, and he thinks about what to do, but then Olivia says she's trembling with excitement. The night is full of dangers and the smoke from the fire, and that they will dispel their anxieties with a campfire. Aikido understands that she is full of enthusiasm, and she says they need branches for a campfire and asks him to rely on her and runs off. Olivia asks Aikido what he thinks of this, showing him a large log she's holding. Aikido is shocked by what he sees. Seeing the huge log, he says it's only good for a house. Aikido explains that if it's not shortened, it might be difficult to light, and shows an approximate size. Olivia says she understands. She breaks wooden planks with her bare hands. Aikido was simply shocked by this. Olivia explains that this is a holy knight's initial skill, wood chopping. Aikido says that all young ladies here are like this and that she is a strange girl, and then states that, of course, he has nothing against it. Aikido hears a rustle and reacts sharply. Then he and the girl see a monster attacking them. He asks what it is, and the girl explains that it's a devil rat monster. Olivia asks Aikido to be careful. She says that even though it's a low-level monster, if it bites, the wound will fester. Then she casts a spell, calling demonic creatures hostile to humans and ordering them to go to the realm of the dead. She destroyed the monster with one blow. Akito says she's a monster herself. Olivia apologizes and explains that she used weapon enhancement, but her combat technique shattered everything. The guy says she doesn't need to apologize because she saved him. She says she's not very good at physical attacks yet and asks for his forgiveness. Akito replies that they'll be great for kindling, so it's all fine. Akito says that for the fire to catch easily, small branches and dry leaves are needed. She says this is a huge difference from a superficially trained holy knight as expected from a tourist, but Akito still believes that a holy knight is cooler than a tourist. Akito says there are monsters here, and it's truly a world of swords and magic. He says something useful as a weapon might be urgently needed. The guy says he only has 3 points left, but fire is needed. Olivia asks how they can start a fire, to which Akito says to leave it to him. Akito exchanges a lighter for 100 yen for 1 point, and he has 2 left. He explains that it is a tool for lighting fire and a magical item. He asks Olivia to break twigs as she did before, to which Olivia replies she will gladly do so. Then Olivia breaks the twigs, and the fire ignites. They are happy they were able to do it. Akito says he feels so proud. Olivia says that it's not allowed, and explains that she must marry His Highness Nazar. Akito apologizes and says he was so happy that he forgot. Akito doesn't understand why he got so agitated. Night falls and Akito opens the status screen again. Akito says that if they sleep here tonight, monsters might appear again, but he can't ask Olivia to stand guard all night. He also says they need to think about food because they haven't eaten anything all day and he's hungry too, and how to ensure safety with the remaining 2 points. Olivia calls Akito and says that today was fun thanks to him. Akito says that so many incredible things happened today. He recounts that there were many difficulties impossible in modern Japan, and yet, the day went well and he looks at the campfire. He says he too had fun. They look at each other and smile. Akito says he doesn't know what tomorrow will bring, but to protect their peace, this should help. He wants to cast a weak barrier, the basic camp blessing skill. Akito says he chooses this place as their camp. He says that since it turned out this way, he will use these skills to the fullest and enjoy life. Olivia suggests they go looking for water and food tomorrow. Akito says that's what he wanted to do. We see ominous eyes from the bushes, and Akito thinks to himself if they will make it safely until morning. They are still by the campfire and can't sleep. Akito again reflects on suddenly being transported to another world and ending up on an island that might be uninhabited. And furthermore, he acquired the profession of a tourist, but no matter what, they need to survive this night. And suddenly Akito realizes that he is very hungry. He says he moved a lot and didn't eat anything all day, then remembers that due to all the turmoil it completely slipped his mind, but he had just finished a long shift. After which Akito plans to solve the food problem after receiving points and wants gacha. He thinks Olivia is also hungry. Olivia says Akito. He notes that the campfire flame is fading, and the light of the magic circle is dimming. She warns that if the fire goes out, when Olivia says it will get completely dark. Akito asks if she's afraid of the dark. She explains that anyone would be scared in such a forest. Akito offers to light a fire, but doesn't finish his sentence. Then he explains that when the campfire flame weakens, one needs to add small branches and blow a little, and then asks Olivia to toss in some small branches. Olivia says she will do it now. She reports that the fire has started. Akito confirms success and she admires, as expected from a tourist, and asks if the fire will get even bigger. Following this, Olivia declares that she will not yield to the sparks, laughs, and throws more branches into the fire. He suggests adding more branches and notes that Olivia seems to have cheered up. She says campfires are interesting. Akito is confident the fire will last all night. He suggests she go to sleep, as she is probably tired. Meanwhile, Olivia addresses him with a question, and he answers, yes. She says she must marry Crown Prince Nazar. Today they will sleep side by side, and if anything happens, she will use Hyper Aura Slash. Akito exclaims in amazement. The guy asks to wait and explains that Lady Olivia is beautiful. And then he says that he's not thinking anything like that and asks her to believe him, and Olivia says it's true. She apologizes for her suspicions, considering herself a terrible person. Akito asks her not to worry. At the same time, Olivia says she is now calm and, as expected, he is a decent person. Then she says it's sweet. He explains that sleeping on hard ground is uncomfortable and suggests spreading grass. The girl thanks him. He considers this a misunderstanding, pointing out the word decent. Akito asks what that is. She laughs and says, hee. Akito expresses confusion. Furthermore, Olivia believes that skipping dinner and a bath is akin to rebellion. She says it's her first free night like this, and the night sky is unusually beautiful today. Akito reacts silently to her words. In addition, he asserts that this is the first night without obligations, and confirms it with the word right. Akito says it's a luxury to enjoy this view. In the end, he says that morning has arrived. Akito wakes up at the camp, says the air is fresh. Then he checks his points and opens his status. After which, Machida he notifies of a gain of 4 points thanks to his natural talent. Information. Name Machida he. Age 24. Profession tourist. Points 4. Individual skill. Natural talent. Akito refuses to use skills, checks the water in the canister, and waits for Olivia to wake up to try his luck with the food gacha. When he says the container is full and makes a sound like a clap, then he reports that the container is full. Olivia says Akito. Then the girl says it's gotten a bit brighter, and the guy wishes her good morning. Akito says good morning and notices that Olivia is without drills. Following this, she asks him not to stare so intently and explains that she hasn't gotten ready yet. He apologizes and says he'll step away to let her know when she's ready, and says he'll check his status, and also says she looks beautiful. Olivia reports that the water canister has been refilled. Akito thanks her. Akito says they'll have breakfast when she's finished, and he'll get something. Akito understands. The man asks if he can acquire the camping food skill next if he masters the basic camp blessing skill. Meanwhile, he asserts that he will be able to prepare various dishes if there are ingredients and he masters the skill. Akito explains that it costs 3 points, so first they need to find food on the island, as they didn't find anything yesterday. Olivia is ready. The girl apologizes for the delay. Akito is surprised and applauds. And then she reports that she's back to her usual self. He says he'll look for food, explaining that he's so hungry he can't stand it anymore. The girl asks for his forgiveness, says she's just very hungry. He reports that he didn't hear anything. Akito asks to open status and food gacha, preferably something edible immediately. At the same time, the man says he just hopes he doesn't get something that needs cooking. 1 point spent, 3 points remaining. Furthermore, Akito and Olivia claim that it's not just an ordinary school textbook, but a textbook on magic. The guy says those are store-bought onigiri. In addition, Akito says it looks delicious, and Olivia is silent. She claims it's food. In the end, Olivia says there are no knives or forks, asks him to just take a bite and asks him to wait. Akito explains how to open the package and wishes him a good meal. He and she both claim the food is delicious. He says it's his first meal in a long time, and he didn't expect onigiri to be so tasty. She notes that the taste is unusual, and she liked the combination of tuna and mayonnaise. After which Akito thanks her for the food and says one is not enough, but he can't splurge due to the remaining points. Olivia wants to eat more onigiri, and he notices that she liked it. When Akito suggests getting down to business, she agrees. Akito starts talking. On the next panel, smoke from a campfire is visible. He suggests lighting a signal fire. Olivia asks what that means. He explains that it might attract a ship's attention. Olivia agrees. Then Akito states today's goals: securing water, food, finding people, and exploring the interior of the island. She clarifies that there's still a lot of water in the canister, but not enough for washing and bathing. Akito admits he's never done this, but understands it's necessary and asks. The guy says he'd like to find a river to wash in. He also wonders if he smells, as he hasn't washed in 2 days. Following this, Akito explains that unlike yesterday's path, it's hard to walk here, and asks him to provide a machete. The man asks her. Olivia emits a sound accompanied by a whirlwind that lifts them into the air. Meanwhile, Akito says that she is an amazing lady and asks where she gets such strength. The lady explains that every lady should be able to do this. The girl suggests going to look there, and Akito notes that the lady's abilities in this world are astonishing. Akito reports that he finds nothing, and Olivia says it's hearing enhancement. She activates the ability, and then she says she hears the sound of flowing water. Akito reports they will go in that direction. Akito says it's true. He asserts. At the same time, Olivia notes the increase in vegetation. Akito suggests walking along the river, warning to be careful. He points out that they don't know how far the river flows, and it might expand further. Olivia notes that there's still more ahead and expresses disappointment. He warns Lady Olivia about potential danger in the forest and about the monster that appeared earlier not being that strong. They are asked to be careful. She agrees. Furthermore, Akito says he doesn't understand. Olivia points to the river and says that perhaps it was blocked by fallen trees. She explains that there were people here, and tree stumps indicate that trees were cut with a tool. In addition, Akito and she notice an open area. She says there's an open area here, and Akito confirms. Olivia compares the mushrooms to fairy tale creature houses and notes that they are too small for humans. In the end, Akito says it's Tefni's doing. She reports that she read about it in books and explains that, perhaps, these are gnome homes. He warns them to be careful, points to a person coming out of the house, and addresses Olivia. They are surprised to see a cat in the doorway, after which the cat asks who they are. Akito says he doesn't understand what's happening and is surprised it's a cat. She stands next to Akito. Olivia says she doesn't know who they ran into and thinks about Onigiri. When the little cat says he's the forest guardian, Akito and she say they came here to find medicine for a sick girl. The cat explains that medicine can be obtained by passing a trial and showing courage. He asserts that it is a living creature or a monster. Then the man calms Tama and says they are humans. The cat in a costume explains that they are humans. The cat with closed eyes says these are rare beasts and asks if these aren't his words, and also notes that it looks like a cat. But still, the cat asks about the people. Akito reports that there are more of them now. Olivia is silent, covering her mouth with her hand. Following this, she greets him. He asserts that they are people. He explains that they are talking so they can talk and he will try to be friendly. The cats report that traders haven't appeared in a long time and that people's faces are smooth. Another cat says that a human ship comes to the island every 2 months, and there's an exchange of stones and food. Akito asks what the traders mean. Meanwhile, Olivia says that a ship comes every 2 months, meaning the island is not entirely uninhabited. She adds that if a ship arrives, they might be taken aboard and delivered to the capital kingdom. The cat asks if they also came to trade, and another cat reports that humans bring delicious food. And then Akito reports that they were shipwrecked and washed ashore here, asking them to take it on faith for now. The man asks about the shipwreck. 2 cats assume it was difficult. Akito notes that these cats seem kind and hopes for their stories. Bachi reports that sacred beasts gather on the tree, like in the Minion tribe. Tama says they are from the Minion tribe. The man asks if this means Bachi and Tama are also sacred beasts and what that means. Bachi and Tama confirm. At the same time, the cat asks if there are other people besides them. He reports that shipwrecked people like them haven't been seen, and the people from the ship left a few days ago. Akito agrees and thanks him for the information. The man clarifies that the ship is delayed. Akito suggests using survival skills until it arrives to escape with Olivia. Furthermore, he asks where he can get food. The cat replies that they trade food, catch fish in the sea, gather fruit in the forest, and there are also shiny stones in the cave that people trade for food. Akito claims that the gems are magical or Olivia asserts that rare ingredients can be found in the cave. 2 cats remain silent. In addition, The cat warns of terrible monsters appearing inside the cave and advises caution. The hero realizes the danger and ponders about the monsters. Akito reports that he'll tell them where there's plenty of fruit on the island. The cat says they can gather and eat it themselves. The girl thanks him, saying it will help them a lot. The cat with the mask begins to explain where the place is. In the end, Olivia noted the importance of communication, the hint on the way, and the food solution. The man expressed joy at the information about the place with the waterfall and clarified that the blue waterfall is suitable for bathing. Akito reports that the ship arrived quite recently, so for now they need to somehow safely board it. She warns that if she doesn't return, the reputation of House Huffleman before the Lengman Kingdom will be ruined, after which he suggests she bathe first. Olivia acknowledges that this is all new to her and points out that it's happening right under the sun. Akito says he hesitates, believing that in their situation it's better to maintain cleanliness to reduce the risk of illness. The girl understands, but Akito insists that it's okay. He's seen how strong she is, and she needs to return to the kingdom. The girl trusts him. When Olivia says that her mother taught her that physical strength is no cause for pride, he notes that he didn't mean anything like that. Akito asks her to wait. Then Olivia reports that it's a towel set, including a face towel, toothbrush, and razor, 2 of each, and asks him to use them. She explains that a tourist is someone who can get any item. Akito says he can only get things related to travel. He reports that he will be behind those rocks and asks her to call him when they are done. She gratefully takes the towel and agrees. Following this, a sound mimicking effect, conveying noise or hum, is heard. The girl is surprised by bathing in nature. Meanwhile, Olivia says it's nice. The man sits by the rocks. Akito notices that she enjoys bathing. She expresses interest in the image of a naked girl with swords in the background. And then he says it's just a joke, his mind is working fine, no need to worry. Olivia apologizes to Akito for the delay and allows him to go bathe. Akito agrees. At the same time, she says that while he is bathing, she will get herself ready and go hunting. He asks what exactly. Akito agrees and asks if he's going hunting. Olivia confirms. Furthermore, she admits that she feels awkward due to her dependence on them. She decided to use her energy and try to change the situation. Akito advises her not to worry, saying that he was helped too. In addition, Olivia states that the main dish for dinner will be roasted meat, and asks him to take on hunting and fishing. He is surprised. Akito reports that after bathing, he plans to return to the camp, gathering firewood along the way, and hopes to meet there. She says she relies on them, and then happily replies yes. She wishes him to take care of himself and says goodbye, and Akito notes that she knows how to hunt. In the end, he notices a rustle and asks what it is, assuming it's an animal, not a monster. He explains that he's currently naked, a simple office worker, unarmed, bad at fighting, and Holy Knight Olivia is not nearby. Akito reports that Butchie-san said there are few monsters outside, but he might need a combat skill or a weapon. After which he reports that he only has 2 points, for which he could exchange a bushcraft knife, but the blade is short and wouldn't even help against a devil rat, and an axe or machete cost 5 points, which he doesn't have enough of. Akito asserts that it is an animal, and asks if it is a squirrel. If Olivia can't get food, he'll have to rely on food gacha. Therefore, food will be the priority. Perhaps it's worth washing clothes in advance. He asks if Olivia knows how to wash clothes, and says that nobles probably don't do that. She says that aristocratic society is not that simple, and the family's reputation would be completely ruined. Akito reports that he doesn't know what this aristocratic society means to her family, but she certainly looked worried. Then he says that Olivia helps him a lot and she shouldn't have ended up in such a situation. So until the ship arrives, he will do everything to at least somewhat alleviate her anxiety. After that he utters, Akito admits he doesn't know what to do about the ship and can't imagine how to return. Following this, he says it's better to think about what's in front of them, and reports that he will go to the place with fruits that Thomasan told him about. He explains that before dark they need to gather food and firewood. They can't delay, clarifying that it's definitely somewhere here. Akito finds mangoes delicious and notes their high location, pointing out the problem with reaching them. Meanwhile, he asserts that climbing the tree is impossible. The guy asks about a suitable tool. He sharply turns around, hearing a loud sound. And then Akito asked what that was. The guy addresses the person on the branch and asks who he is and what kind of creature. At the same time, the bird cries the word Zako. Akito repeats it, notices an unpleasant sound and a sense of déjà vu, and asks what these cries are. The bird offers fruit, but the guy can't get up. He asks it to stop teasing him. Furthermore, the guy says the fruit is tasty and asks to share. The bird asks what in return. The guy apologizes and offers to exchange favors. The guy notes that it's not bad. The guy and the bird agree it's tasty. Akito stated that he currently has nothing, but if politely asked, they might share, and he will definitely reciprocate later. The men replied, In addition, the bird offers the guy some fruit. He calls such a character nasty and ponders that they want to take but not give, and fears that in the end they will say they changed their mind, so it's better not to get involved. He reports that they can do as they wish. The birds ask Akito if he wants to eat, and ask him to come closer because he looks hungry. Akito replies that he no longer is, and says goodbye. The guy says the birds are annoying and it's good that he got rid of them, while noting that he's tired. The birds cry Zak. In the end, he returned to the beginning and doesn't know what to do about the mangoes. Most likely, he'll have to risk trying the food gacha a second time, but he doesn't want to give up yet, as he only has 2 points left. Then he asks, "What is that, meow?" Bachi reports that he came for mangoes and Akito recounts that he was gathering fruits when strange, rude birds flew in. The man asks, "Rude birds?" Akito explains that it's probably the albatross tribe. The man wonders, are the albatross tribe also sacred beasts? Akito replies that even if they are, after which he says that people don't climb trees, and he's just not very good at it. The cat reports that nothing can be done. Akito asks Bachi to gather stones. The man thanks the beast. Stones are collected on the cloth. When the cat says he wants to eat matengai, he thanks him and promises to return the favor. Akito asks what matengai is. The cat explains that it's a long, thin mollusk that lives on sandy beaches and rarely shows itself, so it's hard to catch. Akito notes that it's a razor clam, and says that if they use salt, they'll definitely be able to catch it. Then he agrees to collect it, and the cat expresses impatience. Akito goes to the beach, leaving the mangoes at the camp. Following this, the guy says he is. The guy claims these are not holes, but razor clams. Meanwhile, Akito explains the need for salt, recalling how it was sprinkled on the ground on TV. He suggests getting salt for the remaining 2 points, but doesn't want to spend 2 points on 2 kilograms. Then he says they need to use improvisation. And then Akito says that's what they'll do, and announces obtaining a pot. He says he will use it to make salt from seawater. At the same time, Akito reports that in science class they evaporated 2 liters of seawater to get approximately 60 grams of salt, and says he will build a hearth out of stones. Then he asks if the fire is not weak. He inhales steam from the pan and starts coughing, covering his mouth with his hand. Furthermore, Akito asserts that a fire-starting tube costs 1 point, and Olivia, who loves making fires, would be thrilled. He asks if a bit more kindling would be enough, and exclaims, "Ah, kindling." He explains that it will take time. He says that nothing is working out today and curses that he can't make salt. He remembers that the birds barely managed, and then Bachi-san. In addition, Akito says that he must try hard and shouts forward. He said that while watching the fire, he would quickly run into the forest for firewood, because he is capable of it and will definitely do it. In the end, Akito notices that the water has boiled. The man is surprised. He stated that it would take a long time, but in the end everything worked out. After which the guy touches the surface and says that apart from impurities, it's quite alright. Akito notes that it is indeed a bit salty. He says that doing something with his own hands after all. He reports that he is tired. When Akito says it's fun in this paradise, the sun sets, and the razor clams will have to wait until tomorrow, Olivia reports that she's back. He says he expresses surprise. Then Akito informs Lady Olivia of what happened, to which she only replies, and next to it, drills, is written in large letters. She says the hunt was unsuccessful, asks for forgiveness. He replies that no apologies are needed, asks if everything is all right. She explains that she boasted so much, but then, following this, Akito says clearly. Olivia reports that she found deer tracks, but when she followed them, it turned out to be a sacred beast, and orders him to come here, warning that Akito will get it from her now. She says sacred beasts cannot be killed. He explains that he has something and asks her not to be upset. Meanwhile, Akito offers mangoes gathered by Butchie-san, and Olivia notes their appetizing appearance. He says they're well-ripened and greets her. She thanks him. He reports that there are 2 eggs for breakfast, one for morning and one for evening. And then Akito says that it's still unusual for them, but it has to be done this way, and bites something in his hand. He notes that it's delicious and adds that he's never tasted such delicious mango. At the same time, Akito says it's delicious and offers Lady Olivia to just try it. Olivia is silent at first, then agrees and tries. She reports that it's delicious. She thanks him. He notices that she's downcast again and wants to cheer her up, thinking about what he can do. Then he decides that tomorrow they will gather more razor clams and recharge their energy. Furthermore, Akito speaks, and then reports, rain. Olivia screams. The guy asks the lady if she is all right, and notices the downpour. The lady replies that she doesn't like the rain. Her skin hurts. The guy notices that the fire will go out. The lady asks to wait. The guy says he will get something. In addition, Akito says it's a tarp. He says the fire is dying, and he picks up a stick, walking in the rain. In the end, Akito reports that the sun had already begun to set, so without fire, it would be dark. Olivia asks, and then tightly hugs Akito, who is surprised and calls her Lady Olivia. He says something is wrong with Olivia and asks what happened. Lady, after which Akito notices someone grabbing his hand. Olivia reports that something is wrong. Akito asks if something happened to her. He asks Lady Olivia what happened and learns that she is trembling violently. When Olivia says it's dark, and reports that it's dark all around, Akito asks if she's really that afraid of the dark. He notices her trembling and asks the girl to come in. Then the man reports that everything is all right, and addresses Lady Olivia, saying that everything is all right. Akito says he is here. He says a lot of time has passed, but they are safe for now. Olivia was trembling. Following this, Akito reports that he cannot continue this way and does not want to cause pain. He wanted to help her, but he is powerless before her suffering. He sharply turns around and is surprised. Meanwhile, Akito notices an increase in strength, reporting a level up and gaining points. Olivia explains that points increase with level ups. She assures him that everything will be fine now. For points are allocated every day, and after 2 days the level increases. A solar-powered lantern is presented, with a maximum burning time of 26 hours and a cost. And then Akito apologizes for the wait and says that now they have a lantern for sleeping without worrying about fire. After a pause, she agrees. He says it's sunny and it will be a good day. He looks at the sleeping Olivia and reports that she is fast asleep. At the same time, Akito says that Olivia might have some trauma related to the darkness, but he won't ask until she tells him herself. Akito wants Olivia to smile on this island. The character announces the need to effectively use the remaining 3 points. He clarifies that in 2 days the level will increase, giving 36 points and the opportunity to spin the roulette. The man reacts to a sound and says, Furthermore, Akito asks for a bunch of points, presses the start button, and says, let's see. He reports that he had 19 points, and now he has 24. The guy shouts stop and asks, In addition, Akito says that first he wants to get the camping food skill. He reports that he has gained pro status in preliminary preparation and can now help Lady Olivia butcher carcasses. He leaves the rest for the future. He says that next he will focus on camping gear for Lady Olivia and, while she sleeps, he will start a fire. He thinks that if she is happy. In the end, Olivia apologizes for her unsightly appearance yesterday and for clinging to Akito like that. Akito says good morning and asks if Olivia is all right, to which she replies yes. Akito reports that he thought this would help her recover, and he prepared a tent and a tarp. He claims that the tent transmits magical power and becomes luminous. He suggests putting it up together for a peaceful night in the dark. She asks if it's meant for her, after which Akito announced that breakfast would be from the leftovers of yesterday's mango and other food he had left. The man explains that this is instant soup and gacha food costs 1 point. He clarifies that in addition to soup, other dishes can be cooked and offers an outdoor cooking set for 3 points. When Olivia says that it will become soup, the girl asks if this is it. Akito pours boiling water, stirs thoroughly, and offers her to try. She notes the good smell, tries it, and says it's delicious. Then Olivia suggests setting up the tent, explaining that where physical strength is needed, he can rely on her. He thanks her and suggests they stretch out here. Akito explains that after stretching, they need to tie it like this, and the girl says she is setting something up herself for the first time and repeats the word tie. Following this, Olivia says it's pleasant and unusual to do what one wants, and no one reprimands her. He asks if it's new. Olivia reports that members of the ducal family are forbidden to do anything around the house due to their status. Akito says that a young lady's life is harder than he thought, and explains that the tent is Lady Olivia's tent. He says he's ready. Akito agrees and suggests pulling. Meanwhile, Olivia says this is the first tent she helped set up. He asks if she wants to go to the shore for shellfish now. The girl repeats the question. Akito says that first they need to find a hole, then sprinkle salt into it. She offers to try, and then he says he caught what Bachi-san loves, and it will be a good gift for helping gather mangoes. He offers Lady Olivia to try it too. Olivia notes that catching shellfish is so fun. He notices that she is too fast. She says she will catch them all now, then explains, and Akito says that she, Lady, is amazing. At the same time, Olivia reports that there is no more salt, even though there was a lot. He says he thinks this amount should be enough for him. Olivia asks him to return it and asks what is happening, addressing him. Then Olivia explains that if there is no salt, it can simply be dug up manually. Akito looks at Olivia's new technique and is surprised. Olivia rejoices and says they have gathered enough to repay for the mangoes. Furthermore, he says that the sand needs to be removed and that he uses his pro skill in preliminary preparation, adding that it will take time. The girl says she will call Tama-san and Bachi-san, and he thanks her. Akito calls the skill super and is surprised that the sand has already been removed, noting that he did it instantly. In addition, Olivia decided to feed them delicious mollusks and called Bachi-san and Tama-san. He reported his name. One cat says Akito caught a lot and kisses the pile. Another greets him and praises him. Akito reports that it's all Lady. In the end, Olivia thanks Meow for the help. Meow suggests using the oil brought and asks if they can make batiyaki. Akito offers Lady Olivia to try cooking. She replies that she doesn't even know how to cook. The lady agrees to try. Akito explains that she just needs to fry it. The lady asks if it's supposed to squeak like that and doesn't know what to do. Akito says it's all. After which the man says it's time to add oil. He explains that he understood about the oil and asks if he can just drop it in. The man says not to drop it, just place it. Then he says what a smell has wafted. Olivia reports that the matengai and oil are ready, and asks if she made them. Akito thanks her and addresses Tama-san and Bachi-san. The three cats rejoice and express delight. When two cats talk about delicious food, she asks if it's really tasty, and receives an affirmative answer. He thanks Olivia and reports that it turned out great. Olivia doubts Akito's words, considering him unworthy of such an act. Then he tells Lady Olivia to try it before it gets cold, and she says now and starts eating. Olivia reports that she feels sick. Akito asks what happened. Olivia apologizes and says she's all right. Following this, he suggests that Lady Olivia forget about her status while she is here and be free. Olivia asks Akito if she is free. Akito replies that he is the only one here and promises not to disclose this information. Meanwhile, the girl suggests cooking again. The guy agrees. She asks to clean up herself. The guy nods. The girl suggests eating their fill and laughing. The guy agrees. Olivia asserts that one can live freely. And then Akito says to do what you want. She thanks him and says it's good that he's here. He says likewise, Lady Olivia, and notes that she smiled. At the same time, the guy asks if she really didn't like the shellfish. The girl replies that Akito brought her to tears. Akito is surprised. Olivia reports that she prepared food. The man replies, understood. The cats meow. Furthermore, the cats ask Olivia to cook more. She promises to learn to cook better and asks for the recipe. Akito asserts that everything is fine. Olivia confirms. Akito thanks her. Olivia replies. The man notices what is happening. In addition, the man asserts that these are people, and asks whether this is a new sacred beast. Akito says the weather is wonderful. Yesterday was great. The shells were magnificent. He spent points on skill upgrades, gained the camping gear skill, and now wields an axe, a climbing knife, and a hammer. In the end, Olivia says, good morning. He reports that the question is which item to choose. She reports that she has boiled water and suggests drinking tea instead of water. Akito thanks her and wishes Olivia good morning. Akito asks if something happened, as she looked thoughtful. She explains that although she can protect them, she would like to train with AK. After which Olivia is silent, and he offers to have breakfast, postponing the question of skills. The girl agrees. He mentions that he has bananas, but they won't be filling. He had to loosen his belt. He explains that Akito explains that it needs to be washed, peeled, cut into 4 pieces and boiled. She wants to try cooking and asks Akito to guide her. She demands that he provide it to her. When Olivia says that they wash and the potato gleams, she explains that they cut it into 4 pieces by hand. The man exclaims, wow. Olivia says that now they boil and wait for the potato to become soft. She asserts that if a pinch of salt and oil, which Ms. Rabucci gave her, are added, then Akito tastes the food and says it's delicious. Then Olivia reacts silently to his words. She is reliable and is cooking a meat dish today. The man warns her to be careful and notes her efforts. She leaves. The man will also try to catch fish, the goal being to get protein. Following this, Akito notices crabs and small fish, says wow, and discusses the possibility of eating them, noting the need to determine edibility. He believes that the immune system needs to be strengthened due to problems. Therefore, he considers the scheme: camping food, camping equipment, immunity boost, movement magic, axe, mountain knife, ingredient pro, edibility identification, magic. Meanwhile, the man says it looks like a dressed sea lion and asks if it's a sacred beast. Akito calls it a sacred beast and offers to talk to it. And then the seal apologizes and says that it was probably some special case. Akito says he ignored it and asks if he scared him. The man replies that it was lucky and starts talking, but is interrupted. At the same time, he greets him and reports that he recently arrived at Marvel Island, then wanted to ask something. He asks if fish and crabs are edible. The guy asks if it's edible, explaining that it's not tasty. Akito says understood, and notices a displeased voice. Furthermore, he reports that he caught 1 tiny fish. The timestamp indicates that 10 minutes have passed. Akito says that a lot of time is passing and adds at least something. In addition, the guy suggests holding the fishing rod. Akito says it's a big fish, like a horse mackerel or a sea bass. In the end, he asks if that's the same sacred beast he just saw. Then he thanks him. The man in the water exclaims, "Ah!" Akito asks if he heard, and says that they got fish especially for him, noting his kindness. After which the guy suggests thanking him, then notes that the fish is fresh. After that, he reports that he will go share with someone, since happiness has fallen into his lap. Olivia says she's glad to meet Akito. Akito is surprised. When he asks if something happened, and reports that he smells delicious, the cat sniffs him and says it's fish. He explains that he managed to get fresh fish and decided to share. The cats rejoice at the fish. The cat reports that Akito knows how to fish and thanks him, calling him a master. Akito says that the fish was actually given to him, and he thinks it was some sacred beast with something on its head, like a shell. The cat explains that it's Ashigan's doing. Then the guy reports that sacred beasts come in different types and asks if they dislike humans regarding these Ashikans. The man explains that this beast is exactly like that. The cat says that the Ashikan race is full of contradictions and conflicts. Akito asks what that means. Following this, he reports that among the Ashians there are many soulful guys, even shy ones. He explains that he needs help. He is in trouble. The man says he can't because it's too awkward. He says that these are the ones who want to be friends but are afraid to communicate. The walrus says that someone loves fried fish but is afraid of fire, and he would eat the fish but can't approach it, after which he notes that with such a figure they suffer from shoulder pain. Akito says that they seem to have a lot of internal conflicts, and asks if he understood. Meanwhile, Olivia asks him to be more lenient with them, and he understands. Akito completed preliminary magical processing and is preparing fresh food. He decides to grill sardines over coals and make sea-based soup, mentioning that Butchie even provided onions. And then he says that the hunt probably failed. Olivia reports that she came for a break and notes a pleasant aroma. He greets Olivia and wishes her a good return. Olivia asks if they caught this fish, and he confirms that it is fried fish. She wishes him a good appetite. Akito reports that he will tell her over food while it's still warm, and explains that he didn't actually catch it. At the same time, the guy says that the beast Ashikan gave it to him and he wanted to thank him, but he disappeared somewhere. Olivia recounts what happened. Akito admits he didn't know they were so sensitive. The girl says she wants to be friends with him, but is afraid that he now dislikes her. Akito assures her that everything will be fine, and is surprised. Furthermore, he asserts that he will easily make friends with everyone and calls Olivia cute. Akito thanks Olivia and says that tomorrow he will go to the sea again. Olivia expresses hope for another meeting, but prefers not to continue a close relationship. Akito admits he is glad for the good understanding between them and awaits the next ship. In addition, he says that the day of farewell is already near. Olivia thanks Akito for the fish and promises to hunt diligently. She wishes him to take care of himself. Akito replies that he will take care of himself. Olivia says that this time she will be first. Akito agrees and promises to do it later. In the end, he is silent and says that the main thing now is to stay alive. Then he explains that Butchie-san claimed that the Ashikans love fried fish, and suggests taking the remaining fish with them. Then he says that they can go to the sea and thank them. Akito said, "Oh," noticed the seal and greeted him. The seal asked him to wait to prepare the fish in gratitude for the fish Akito provided. After which the guy says, "Fried fish, fish," and admits he was too loud. The bear apologizes for scaring him, and explains that he tried to prepare the fish to be liked. Akito asks the girl if she doesn't like fish. The girl replies no, on the contrary. Then Akito clarifies so she does like it. When the guy says he just tried it and asks him to hold it, the man smells the fish on the stick. The guy looks at the seal who is examining the fish. Then Akito asks the girl her name again. Toby replies that her name is Toby. The man thanks Toby for his trust and is glad that he said his name. Following this, Akito says that Toby is the kind of sacred beast who came to his aid in a difficult moment, and even if he doesn't look him in the eye, that is enough. He promises to repay Toby for his kindness. Meanwhile, the sea lion suddenly jumps out of the water, creating a large splash. Akito notices this and reacts. He notices something and asks Toby if he's alright. Toby confirms that yes, he's alright, surprised that he was covered. And then the sea otter shakes a shell in the water. On the right panel, fabric falls. On the left panel, a hand squeezes fabric, making a sound like an animal's cry. At the same time, two whales strike the water with their tails. Akito says it's too sarcastic. The man asks if they are orcas, and reports that they are laughing. Furthermore, he says that they need to move away, it's dangerous there because they love all sorts of mischief. He asks why mischief suddenly. The man asks why. The animal blames Toby and admits that it is still very green itself. In addition, Akito says he doesn't understand what's happening and addresses Toby, asking what is on this sacred beast's mind. He reports that he won't be back today and asks if everything is all right. In the end, the guy wanted to thank him for intervening, but after everything that happened, the man says that Toby is to blame and lied. He is worried by these words and looks upset, after which Akito suggests waiting and offers to change places. He says that in the underwater world there are many wonders and he would like to help Toby. Bubbles on the surface of the water. The seal swims forward, looking at two penguins. When Akito shouts Toby, Toby quickly swims forward. In the scene, two dolphins jump out of the water. Then a beast with 3 horns appears and growls. Akito says it's Toby. The man speaks. Following this, Akito reports that Olivia is not around. He states that he has nothing, as he spent a long time choosing a weapon and took nothing. Then he yells that it's bad when a creature attacks him and tries to fight back, but the creature jumps on him and he curses. Meanwhile, Akito says Olivia considered the monster weak, but its fangs say otherwise. He asserts that he is being pursued and will soon be caught, so a powerful weapon is needed. He transfers status, inventory, and then Akito says that's a real axe handle, while fending off the beast's attack. He strikes the attacking creature, driving it away. Then he breathes heavily and says it seems he managed to drive the enemy away. At the same time, Akito admits defeat, but expresses joy. He says that with such monsters, Olivia reports that she handles them easily and effortlessly knocks them down. Furthermore, Akito asserts that regardless of the number of skills acquired, training remains necessary and suggests Olivia train together. The man addresses Akito. The sea cat is silent. He points to the appearance of wings. In addition, Akito tells Toby that he wanted to see him and asks if he has a moment. Toby asks, "With me." The seal makes a sound and asks if he was hurt. Another seal replies. In the end, the guy asks Akito if he saw that fight and says it was unexpected. Akito admits he was a little scared. The man with the animal's face expresses regret that he couldn't help. The guy tells Toby that he's fine after the incident with the villains and thanks him for his concern. Toby replies that everything is fine. The guy expresses gratitude for the support. Toby confirms and asks about what exactly, after which Akito thanks Toby. Guy, fish, girl is silent. When the man praised the fried fish, Akito thanked him. He replies, "You're welcome." Then Akito says that if he cooks and brings more, will the girl eat? And the girl replies asking. He asks why they bully the young ones and adds that they don't have to answer if they don't want to. The man reports that the hat is very important for the Ashigan tribe and it needs to be searched for by scouring the vast sea. The man is silent. Following this, the man explains that the Ashigan tribe uses a hat as a symbol of adulthood, but children who cannot swim well wear a scallop shell. The man admits that everyone around him has already found their hats, and he is still searching. He explains that since he wears a shell, it means he is still a rookie and clumsy. Meanwhile, the man claims that he swims the most, while the seal says he searches tirelessly. The sea cat said that Toby is still a rookie, and nothing can be done. Akito replied that Toby tries his best, so he shouldn't blame himself. The sea cat praised Toby as hardworking and kind. And then Olivia reports that if she meets them, she will definitely tell them everything she thinks. He says he doesn't understand what that means. Akito notices that the hat has a special meaning for the Ashikans and asks what can be done. The man exclaims. At the same time, he asks Toby what kind of hat he wants, and Toby replies that straw hats are in fashion now, so he wants one of them. Akito tells the straw hat its status is inventory, then adds, then. Furthermore, the straw hat is a jester. The seal is surprised. He says that if this option suits, he hopes the seal will accept it as a token of gratitude for the fish. The seal asks if a straw hat suits him and receives confirmation. Akito clarifies that it's a hat for a seal, and the seal confirms. The seal begins to put on the hat. In addition, he notes that Toby is an adult, and adds that the hat suits him. The woman thanks Akito. Akito is glad he could help, and reports that it's good that she liked it. In the end, he says it would be nice to chat like this again. And the man replies, yeah. The guy chops wood with an axe. He reports that thanks to the camping gear skill he gained yesterday, he now knows how to properly engage his muscles when working with an axe. After which Akito reports that he managed to get weapons and now needs to learn to boost his immunity and determinability. He recounts that yesterday he met a monster, acquired a new skill, and is glad he saved points. He is glad he could give a hat as a gift. Yesterday's points. Food gacha, potatoes. 1 point. 8 points remaining. Knife, 1 point. When Akito reports that he has 0 points left, the date changes and he levels up. He offered to spin the roulette and asked it to give him a lot of points. Then Olivia says good morning to Akito. Akito replies briefly. The guy suddenly falls backward, and the girl exclaims. The guy orders to stand, presses the button. She apologizes, he is silent. She is surprised and calls his name. Following this, Olivia swears and apologizes for what she did, but Akito denies it. He reports that he gained 36 points and is surprised. He joyfully adds that he has 41 points, including 5 for today, and thanks Olivia. He said he needs to buy everything: immunity boost, 6, first aid knowledge, 2, self-regeneration map, 3, and basic healing magic, 7. Suddenly he might have to fight a monster again. Meanwhile, Olivia explains that next comes a utility knife specializing in cutting and skinning, and if one has the professional butchering skill, it is simply essential. Akito says he bought a knife and offers to show it, and Olivia asks if he's sure. Akito asks if its sharpness really worries him. The guy reports that he spun the food gacha twice today and will eat properly. The girl says pizza, and then Olivia says that the sandwich is delicious, therefore. Akito says it's a win and he's lucky today, so he suggests sharing. He claims that it's something else and asks what exactly. At the same time, Akito explains that it's cream, and Olivia asks if there's ice cream in it. Akito warns that the cream will melt if left out, and the girl suggests sharing with Minion. Akito agrees, but warns that the cream might melt by the time they bring it. He predicts heat. She discusses ice magic. Furthermore, Akito asserts that there's no need to worry. This is exactly what he needs. The man talks about a 45-liter cooler box that costs 2 points and keeps things cold for 3 days. He also mentions an XL-sized ice pack for 1 point, capable of freezing and maintaining -15. In addition, Akito says that Olivia has more magic and asks if she can infuse magic into him. Olivia asks him to present it to her. The image shows mushroom houses in the forest. In the end, Akito greets Butchie-san and tells Olivia that he is happy they came. He explains that he has a lot of delicious food and wants to share. The man asks about the big box, and Butchie-san begins to answer. The guy suggests digging in, showing the ice cream. The cats are delighted, say the ice cream is delicious, and are amazed by the quantity. The guy notices a white piece, a white lump, and asks if it's really not tasty at all. After which Olivia says there is no ice cream on the island, and Akito offers to try it. The man agrees. The cat with a spoon in its mouth makes a sound. He says he just doesn't like cold things, and she adds that it's not tasty. When the cat cries about uniting, Olivia says it's delicious, and she has changed her mind about Akito. Akito notes that it's great, and others thought he was incapable. The girl asks to get in line, places the food, and says, he notes that she looks content. Apparently, this is her first experience helping those in need. She makes a victory sign and smiles. Then the cat told Akito not to stare at Olivia and to serve the ice cream. Akito replied that he wasn't staring. The cat just meowed. The cat eats with a spoon. Following this, the cats say it's unity and express delight at the food. One of the cats asks if this isn't paradise. Akito explains that he accidentally got this dish and won't be able to make the same one. But there's still more. The cats say it's very delicious. Olivia suggests building a bronze statue in honor of the great him. He refuses. The man is surprised and shows a statue with the inscription God of Ice Cream Him. Olivia calls the man Mr. Him. Meanwhile, Akito explains that ice cream can be made from eggs and milk, and that there seemed to have been something like an ice cream maker. The cat-faced man asks in surprise, "Is that true?" And another cat-faced man reports that Tama's mouth is watering. He reports that he found a goat, but no cows, and says that goat's milk will also work. The man says that then all that's left is to get eggs. And then the cat says that if they get a bird's egg, then. The man reports that alpacas can't be it, and the cat replies that he would never eat a sacred animal's egg. The cat reports that it is about a rock. Akito says they don't have chickens and asks whose. He explains that chicken eggs would be perfectly fine. Akito recounts that a huge 12-meter-long monster bird is about 10 kilometers from here. It has built a nest. At the same time, he says they need to figure out how to get an egg from such a bird. The cat replies that they need to steal it, otherwise they won't survive. The cat asks if they are willing to do that for ice cream, and adds that of course. He suggests calming down for at least a day and catching a rock bird. Akito is surprised and calls Olivia by name. Olivia recounts that rock bird meat is delicious, and confirms it. The rock bird used to attack people to steal grain, so it was destroyed. Olivia says that shish kebab and ice cream are excellent. Furthermore, the cat suggests forging iron, preparing for the journey, and assembling a small team, him, her, Butchie, and Tama. After waiting, he yells about eggs and meat, admitting that he did something terrible. Akito says he is getting ready, which means they need to gather, take an axe and a utility knife, and he also has items from the villagers, but he needs to learn skills. In addition, he reports that there are 10 edibility points left and they need to look for food along the way. He decides to take the edibility identification skill and chooses beginner-level movement magic, spending 8 points. 2 points remain. The girl asks if he has been waiting long, to which he replies, no. The man advises Tama to watch her step. The woman notes that the forest is getting denser. In the end, the man says that he looks even without Butchie, so there's nothing to worry about. He blows air to the side. Akito shouts Tama Mason. The cat asks if the guy hanging on the rope is all right, and asks to let him go. The girl warns of a possible trap and says that the rope needs to be cut immediately. The cat emphasizes the need for attentiveness. After which Akito says he promises to find a solution. Olivia warns of danger, but he assures her that everything is under control. He determines the cutting point. When Akito reports that he is a professional in preliminary processing and the liberation from bonds is complete, the man falls down, making a falling sound and laughing. He shouts Tama's name. The girl cries out Hiya and picks up the cat. He thanks Olivia and the girl. The girl says it was magnificent and asks when he learned to wield a sword so well. He explains that it's not exactly a sword, but rather professional application of the profession skill. Then the man says that scoundrels always have strange plans, and asks if a human is going to eat minion, since he said butchering. Olivia screams. The man and the girl look forward in surprise, with 2 cats beside them. Akito is annoyed by the squeaking. One of the birds calls him a minion and warns that people will eat him. Albert cries out. Following this, he reports that he will not eat Tama, but simply manage to neutralize the trap with his skill. The man asserts that he cannot be trusted at all, asks him not to confuse them, and adds that it's not scary at all, because they are just humans. Olivia advises Akito to ignore the eccentrics, but he warns of approaching steep cliffs. The man points to the proximity of their lair, to which Akito agrees. Meanwhile, the guy asks if she's all right. She confirms and asks him to be careful. He explains that these are seeds and trifles, and the birds express indignation, saying that they are arrogant and how they can ignore them like that. The bird threatens that it will spare no one. Olivia calls everyone here. The guy yells and curses. And then Akito says that what he ate cannot be treated carelessly. He explains that chestnuts are edible, but usually the spiky shell and tough casing are removed. Mangoes are edible, oranges are edible. Olivia notes that the dish is appetizing, and the man points to a souvenir. It is also noted that chestnut shells are inedible, and the fruits have been processed. 2 bird-like creatures ask what that was, and note that it is unusual. He answers. At the same time, the birds react in a panic to Akito's words that the albatross is edible and can be eaten. Akito reports that he was joking, and the cats say he was cool. She explains that it was magnificent and she didn't think that skinning skills would be so useful. He states that he didn't think. Olivia reports an earthquake. Furthermore, the cat notices a misunderstanding, while Akito talks about returning to the cliff. The girl is silent, and the cats make sounds. On the upper right panel, stones crumble from the wall. On the lower right panel, stones fall to the ground with a loud sound. On the large left panel, a huge bird-like monster stands on the ground and emits a loud sound. In addition, Akito asserts that it is a rock and notes its size. The guy says this is a temporary retreat. The cat on the right claims that retreat is impossible. The cat on the left says he cannot be there alone. In the end, the guy reports that this is a good spot. The man shouts for Tama to hide in the crevice and warns that this time he will definitely be eaten. The guy and the cat fight off falling rocks. The man and woman thank them for their help. The bird soars into the sky, after which Olivia reports that Akito is fine and that the rock is too enormous. Akito calls himself and orders to move, so that his feet no longer touch the sacred Akito key stone. He didn't expect there to be 3 of them. She thinks it's cramped here. He suggests coming up with a plan of action. When Olivia says that she doesn't even have a sword, but she can manage, perhaps with a maximum of 1, Akito notes that even 1 is amazing. The cat believes that breaking through 3 is reckless, even for him. Reducing their number will give a chance to steal the egg. Then Akito says that even if there are 2 left, it's still dangerous, and that they should get the eggs first, although he wants meat too. Olivia reports that she will deal with it herself then. The cat advises them to think about the eggs first and discreetly distract their attention. Butchie and Tama are well-oriented in the area and can hide in crevices, while the cat and the others will be too noticeable. Following this, the cat says they will entrust it to Butchie and that Butchie came up with the plan. Akito suggests listening, the cat agrees. Akito announces plan number 1. Meanwhile, the birds peck at the fruits thrown by Albin. The cat reports that Tama also wanted to eat, and another cat tells Albert that he at least did something useful for once. The cat explains that they will gradually feed and lure them. The guy reports that he found eggs. And then Akito says he needs to be careful not to scare them. Then he grabs an egg and reports that it is healthy. After this, he says that all that's left is to take them. Olivia asks if something happened. He explains that it was harder than he thought, and difficult to carry quietly. Footsteps are heard on the wooden floor. Olivia offers to swap, saying she can hold it if she strengthens her body. He agrees. At the same time, she calls the guy, and he is surprised. Then a hit sounds. A bird appears, screams. The guy says the situation is bad, and she exclaims, "Damn." Akito tells Olivia to duck, at which point Olivia sharply bends down. Furthermore, he stands before the enormous bird and admits that he feels pressure and does not believe in his own strength. Olivia says it's time to get going, but the moment is lost, and calls Akito a pest. Akito replies that it's just a broken nail, but what pain. In addition, he states that since the eggs belong only to Olivia, he will have to take them, after which he shouts and lunges at the bird. Akito says that everyone will return home safely. The girl listens. In the end, the cat reports that another one is ready, and things are bad for him and the others. The cat announces plan number 2. Butchie and the others must return and move forward. Akito addresses Butchie, who replies. Then Akito addresses Olivia, and she agrees. After which she says to Mansu. Mansu makes a sound. The man reports that Mr. He dodged. The man says Mr. He. Akito reports transferring to the camp, holding Olivia's hand tightly. A flash of light follows. When she reports that she was able to return and the egg is intact, he says that he should have worn something lighter and more comfortable. She rejoices and says he is simply incredible, and he explains that it's all thanks to Olivia. Olivia apologizes and asks if Akito was teasing her, to which Akito coughs and apologizes. Then she explains that according to plan number 1, they were all supposed to return together, but in an emergency situation, plan number 2 is to meet in Minion Village, and she will carry the egg for now, and at the same time find out if everything is all right there. He agrees. Olivia asks if Butchie and the others have returned, and says that Butchie knows this island and its terrain well. Akito reports that he believed her and that she had said so, and also hopes that Butchie and they will return and live a peaceful life, while thinking that Butchie has some secret. Following this, Butchie and Tama claim that they are fine. The man says it's hot. Olivia speaks, the man replies, the cat speaks. Meanwhile, Akito reports that they have returned and tells them to run. The man is surprised. Akito explains that the rock was too busy to notice, and tells them about his secret plan. The man agrees. The cats explain that they need to add goat's milk, egg yolks from the rock egg, and sugar. The man says that sometimes it's interesting you can make ice cream from this. He asks Olivia to fill it with magic. She reports that she has a cold element and gives it to him. And then Akito explains that a machine is used to make ice cream. The kittens roll a large ball, and Olivia watches them, saying that it's lovely. He reports readiness. At the same time, the man reports on rich ice cream, and the woman calls it dinner. The crowd demands a monument be erected to Akito, but Olivia interrupts. She thanks Akito and acknowledges his skill. Akito explains that he acted instinctively, swinging the axe unconsciously to return alive. Furthermore, she says that the meat was a bust. He thanks her and says he didn't expect to hear that. Akito asks Olivia if she wants meat. She confirms. Akito suggests she go to the cave, where there are many delicious things. In addition, she asks about the cave. He reports that it's a mysterious place. She asks if there's a lot there, and he explains that it's full of rare creatures, beautiful things, and delicious ingredients. The girl is surprised, asking if there's a lot of tasty and mysterious things there, and thinks about F. Olivia told Akito that he can be silent, as she understands him. Akito suggested Olivia explore the cave, to which she agreed, asserting that they would definitely get meat. In the end, he orders them to explore the cave. The man and the girl prepare for the journey. The man takes a shovel, and the girl looks at the entrance. Two cats hold plates and cutlery. Akito, this is Olivia, the cave Butchie talked about. Akito, the cave entrance. Olivia, the statue. After which the guy notes the resemblance to Butchie and sees the number 0 on the girl's stomach. The cat explains that the pointer statue shows the monster level, and the number on the stomach is their quantity. The cat warns, "Cat, there are no monsters at the entrance. Akito, meat and all the most interesting things will be deep in the cave. Girl, meat. Akito, shall we go?" When Olivia says that this time she will definitely give him meat, and her hands are itching, he asks her to wait a little and reports that before they go, he wants to give her something. Akito reports that it will be dark in the cave, so they will need a flashlight. She asks, "Is this for her?" Then Olivia says she feels awkward and didn't want this. The man in gloves reports, "Ah." She asks if she can take the lantern. Akito replies yes. Following this, Olivia thanks him. The man clicks. Akito directs Olivia towards the meat. She says she's ready to light the way and suggests they start exploring. The guy agrees. Meanwhile, he says that Olivia is afraid of the dark, but she tries. Olivia notes that it's unknown what awaits them, so they move slowly. They have reached the first level. Akito warns that monsters are starting to emerge from here and advises them to move carefully. And then he says then reports that these are moths, not monsters, and that they are not lagging behind. Olivia told Akito that he was fine, and noticed that the light was dimming due to the lanterns. Akito is silent. At the same time, she screams for them to get away, and he stands beside her. Sounds of heavy breathing are heard below. Akito asks what that was. Olivia replies that she drove them away with sheer willpower and that they are encroaching on her precious light. Akito notes that Olivia's strength is as impressive as ever. Furthermore, he notices mushrooms on the wall, and she reports that they are mushrooms. Cave mushrooms are edible, suitable for frying and salads. Akito claims that these are cave mushrooms. The cat suggests exchanging them for bacon. The girl agrees to the exchange. In addition, Olivia says there's something there and suggests checking if it's edible. Akito asserts that she was right, but asks what kind of plant it is. In the end, Olivia asks if what grows in the dark is edible. He promises to check.